with his team and just dealing with his lifestealer.
Yeah. Well, it also gives you that strong lane survivability that you would love to be able to get out of a Razor. Invoker is going to be the response, though, for CDEC. And I guess the big question I have, do you think that this is... It doesn't really feel like an SC hero, the Razor, but like, what do you think about him being run in the safe lane instead? Is that something that's viable, or is that just a little bit too outside of the box?
I think it's viable, but I'm normally not a very big fan of this safe lane Razor. But if they do have something in mind, I mean, I think it's totally fine. I would honestly prefer to see a safe lane Faceless Void, if anything.
And then like Razor in the mid instead. I guess the question I'm really sort of flirting around the outside edges of is, what do you think of that matchup of Razor versus Invoker? Well, like, is that heavily tilted towards one side or the other?
I think it's Invoker favored, just because you have good range and you have a lot of ways to stop him from linking onto you. So overall, I would say Invoker wins very, very slightly, but Razor's just gonna farm pretty safely, not really have to worry about dying, I think, especially with the lineup. Unless the last hero CDEC picks is like a very, very good like ganking support. I don't really see him having too many issues.
We'll see what that happens to be. Disruptor was the hero banned out for Newbee, so it seems like they're putting a heavy emphasis, at least with their last couple of bans here, on heroes that can give you team fight potential. Because, I mean, with the ET stomp there and then Invoker's shenanigans that he has, it's certainly something that can be an issue, but they're going to ban out the PL.
Radiant team pick.
So that's a really interesting one. I wasn't expecting that.
They ban out the PL because, like you said, there's always that chance where you safe lane the Razor and you off lane Void, and then if you do pick up the PL, it's like a really bad matchup for Invoker because PL mid just destroys Invoker. So I guess they're just not taking any chances. Not too sure of what they want to ban either, and they just, you know, remove that potential for a bad matchup.
Well, and I guess that is something that, you know, at the very least, you're sure that it's not going to be messing with you in that way. Is there anybody else that Invoker can really struggles against? Or, I mean, I guess Alchemist is another hero that we haven't seen so far in this one. Is that a potential pickup for Newbee, or is that a little bit too outside the box?
It might work, but I don't think they would want to pick it up just because it's like it just becomes an all-in into your Alchemist kind of lineup. So I feel like if they were going to do it now, it would seem a little strange. I think it would definitely work, though. As far as other heroes that might work against Invoker and with their lineup, the only other one that comes to mind is a TA, right, perhaps.
5 seconds.
Newbee now, they are going to have to deal and contend with a Silencer. We've seen a good amount of this hero throughout the last couple of days. What do you think it is about this guy that sort of brought him back into the meta? Is it just the sort of change where we're having more team fights and being able to find that initiation, or is it something in the laning stage?
Silencer is one of those heroes that has just always been around and has always been a very situational pick. And
Naga Siren.
Ooh, I like this. This is how you disengage.
Oh, I really thought it was going to be the KP Naga, but SC is taking that, so they're going mid Naga. Huh.
Okay, I can work with this. But like I was saying, Silencer is one of those very situational heroes where Global Silence has always been one of the most powerful abilities in the game. It's just very unreliable because of how long the cooldown is. But they do have that Blink Crush combo. So similar to yesterday's games, if you Bat Lasso someone, you global, there's nothing the other team can do, at least in the early stages of the game. So this is like the same concept. If you Blink Crush someone and you global, there's absolutely nothing that Newbee can do until they get up their items to remove that global. Up until then, they just cannot fight into that.
Yeah, well, I'm talking with Zyclops right now. He asked me if we finished up early, if we could cover his casts that are going on in a little bit, and I had to just let him know that we have a Naga Siren, so we might be not quite done by the time he needs us to help us out with that. So we'll have to see how it goes. SC though, what's the big difference that we end up having between a Naga Siren in the mid lane versus Naga Siren in the safe lane? Is it there much really that differentiates the two, or is it pretty much just play it the same type of way?
I think the biggest difference is just that if you get a safe lane Razor, you're going to have more farm on your Razor. And by having that early farm on your Razor, you allow him to fight with the rest of the team at a much earlier stage versus, just farming up in the mid lane. I would say it's probably like 25 to 30% faster than farming in the mid lane. And because of that, once you're ready to fight, Newbee's lineup kind of becomes a 4v5. We're going to make space for our Naga lineup. And then when things go south, our Naga will come in and disengage for us. Like, just sleep everyone. All right, let's all get out and wait on cooldowns, and then we'll just do it again. And then we'll let the Naga continuously farm.
Right now, I'm sort of role-playing as Monkey King. I'm hiding behind the fountain and peeking out between the trees at all of the heroes and wanting to go join them, but not quite yet. I was hoping that we get to see that sooner. Anyways, I don't know what I'm even talking about at this point. Dota 2 is hopefully going to get played as we wait for Newbee and CDEC to finish off, and looks like somebody was in the bathroom, so hopefully they'll be back shortly. You said at the beginning that you were favoring Newbee to take this whole series. Is that still sort of the idea for you? Do you think that CDC have the draft that can make this work?
Oh, definitely. I just say I favor Newbee because I think that overall with their players and how their performance has been recently, I would say that they're favored to win this matchup. But CDEC are definitely a team that could 2-1 them, maybe even 2-0 them, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they can make it happen. Not a whole heck of a lot else to chat about. No items, I believe, have been purchased at this point, so just kind of hanging out, waiting for the next one to come about, and hopefully.
Don't you know about the pre-game ritual? You always have to pause before you start the game, no matter what match it is.
It is. Is that something that they talk about when, I don't know, you're a player?
It's just every team just has that one player. You got like 15 minutes in the draft, and you decide, you know what? I'm gonna wait till the draft ends, and then I'm gonna go do stuff, and so you guys can wait for me then. Every team has someone like this.
So here's a question for you: how much of a difference is it playing regular? Since we've got some time now, Yosin, well, how much of a difference is it playing like pub Dota versus playing knowing that there are casters talking about your moves, people that are watching your play? Does that factor in at all into sort of the general experience when you're playing a game of Dota 2 in a tournament?
I would say it varies from player to player. Based off of personal experience, I would say it has no effect, because once you're in the game, you just kind of forget about everything that's going on. You're just focused on the game. The one thing I have to say that really annoys me is when there are people watching the game and it updates you. There are now so-and-so numbers of spectators. And I'm like, man, that is so distracting, because I just got reminded this is being watched.
Yeah. And does it do that in tournament matches as well?
Yes, it'll do that in tournament matches.
Oh.
Like once the game starts and, everyone's like moving into their lanes and it's like, oh, there's 600 viewers, there are 1,000 viewers or 2,000 viewers. I'm like, man, this is so annoying.
What about if like a spectator accidentally types something? You get to see that, right? If something gets typed?
If they are in the lobby, yes, you do see that. That very rarely happens, though. No one really does that.
Yeah, that would be. I almost did that today. I was trying to. So here's a little bit of behind the scenes production for all you fine folks out there. If you're a cool caster, there's a way that you can bind your key so that when you click on the minimap, instead of just going straight there like this, it zooms over there, and it makes it look really smooth and clean when you try and make those productions. And all you have to do is press a button. I have it bound to K, so when I hit K and then I click, it's normal, and then if I hit it a second time and click, it zooms. Now, when I was doing this, I was checking to see if who had gotten the Roche kill, and so I didn't hit the enter button, so I typed KK twice to try and get my zoom going right, because it wasn't working, and then I almost pressed enter again, which would have, of course, put a little thing out there to all of the people watching. So little behind the scenes as to why sometimes people do accidentally type into the Dota 2 game. So interesting stuff.
This is why you gotta get one of those mouse with like 20 buttons on the side. You won't have to run into that kind of issue.
That's true. And I have a Dell mouse. Oh, it still has the receipt on it. It's a $4 mouse from Goodwill. It's value. Really good stuff. I don't know.
Huh. I'm starting to see a correlation with MMR and mice.
Yeah, it's not the best. I'm not gonna lie. I also have a $20 monitor that I got. Actually, a $15 monitor that I got from Goodwill. I'm telling you, if you guys are looking for a second monitor, it's totally worth it to even just go out and buy one that's like a different resolution than the other stuff, and very worth it to get a second monitor. Can't go back.
You can't go back. Once you get a second monitor, your life changes. It's eye-opening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're still waiting now for the player to get back in. I believe that it's KP who's still trying to hop into this one. Is there? Yeah, it's SC who's playing on the Naga Siren. I thought for a second it was somebody else, but nonetheless, fine stuff. Also worth noting, we can talk briefly about the bracket and how we're sitting. CDEC and Newbee, this is the upper bracket finals, so the winner of this will move on to the grand finals, which is best of 5. Still a lot of other games to play, as eHome Keen was able to beat out Braveheart earlier. Vici Gaming took down IG Vitality, and so those two teams are going to have to face off against LGD Forever Young and eHome respectively. And then after that one, the winner of those series plays each other, and it goes on, so on and so on, until eventually we get to a best of 5 grand finals, which is going to take place the same day as the lower bracket finals, which is a best of 3. So 8 games in total potentially going to happen on that last day of the tournament. A LAN being held in Shanghai. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to see how this ends up finishing.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of good teams in this tournament. I still would favor Newbee to take it all, but we'll have to see. Honestly, I feel like this would be the finals, or might be the finals later on, but we'll have to see.
Oh, here we go. Go. They're calling it. We're going to do it. Did CDEC run away as well? Possibly. Maybe. They're waiting. The other thing about this that's also interesting to note is with so few tournaments that are going on right, like WESG is happening, but the problem with that is that there's not all of the other top tier teams that are in it. It's a lot of regional ones. This might have a pretty big impact on who gets their spots at the major invites.
I think it definitely depends on how Valve values tournaments. WESG is a little strange because it is regional, right? So that's like none of the official teams.
Right, exactly. Oh, in this play, we saw this last night, last night as well from KP, able to move over and potentially steal the rune. Do you remember the play that he made?
Yeah, I mean, he was playing Slardar, right? He just walks over, crushes, and takes it and leaves.
Yeah. And it's interesting because normally people don't go in to check Roshan to see if he's in there, so the rest of the heroes had walked away by that point, and he was just able to walk over and take it. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying, though, is that because WESG might not matter as much for Valve, this tournament then starts to take a lot more prominence, where, if Newbee win this, they kind of could shore up their invite status for the major.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I feel like Newbee are already a definite invite, honestly. There's not much change to their roster. Actually, no, there's a huge change, sorry. Yeah. But they have been beating most of the Chinese teams, and getting second place at MDL, definitely nothing to scoff at. That's actually a really, really good placing.
Well, the Invoker is going to be moving in here and suddenly realizes he has to contend with KP. It's a click-off, and the Faceless Void picks up the bounty rune again. Nobody there to help the Invoker.
So sad.
Well, currently, we're just going to end up having an even one. What do you think about this matchup in the mid lane, though? The Invoker versus the Naga Siren. How do you feel like this is going to finish off?
For me, this lane just feels like it's pretty... I would say it's favored for Naga, just in the sense that you should be able to outform the off on the Invoker, and that's kind of all you really set out to do. So there's not much to look at here, unless SC or Feb just makes like some huge misplays. I don't think there should be too much going on here.
Okay. It's also worth noting, man, already 3 denies on SC. That's pretty huge. That we did previously see a lot of plays coming out with KP playing the Naga Siren in the off lane, and so I guess it really shows that Newbee are think that SC can pull it off. They're going to be willing to give it away from their player who played it previously.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Naga is just one of those heroes. I feel like a lot of players would like playing this, especially if you're a mid player. It's just so satisfying to listen to all that gold sound.
Absolutely. U9 stealing away some more damage now from the Earth Spirit, and we're seeing a good amount of pressure applied mid here by Feb, but it's not really translated into a huge CS advantage. What do you think about this Silencer support just harassing away KP here in the off lane?
He needs his level 2. The moment he gets level 2, they actually have some kill potential between him and the Lifestealer. But both of them need to get level 2 first, and KP is doing a really good job at just shoving the wave because they can't really fight into him just yet. And now that he's level 2, it's like a lot harder for them to fight him.
Has that level in Bash, trying to move over and see if he can secure this rune. Might get another free couple of hits here on October, but we'll get caught by the Torrent. Hit again? No, doesn't get it off, but nonetheless, a lot of damage dealt to that Silencer.
Very fortunate that he picked up an Invis rune. If it was anything else other than that or haste, he's probably going to die there.
June also farming away. Iron Talon in the jungle. No more mana for Crush, but does have a couple points in those Bash as well. Do you think we see a rotation from Newbee to try and mess around with the Slardar at all, or is that not really in the cards for them?
Definitely, most likely not going to happen. It's really hard to bother him when you're just by yourself, whether it's a Kunkka or a Oracle. So unless they go together, like, they're not going to be able to do much to him, and I don't think it's nearly worth as much as it is to get stuff out of the lane. It's just going to leave. I mean, this is a jungling Sardar anyways. It's not going to be really quick. It's not like a jungle axe or anything.
Oh man, and SC just punishing this Invoker in the mid lane, keeps on forcing out the regeneration. He does use that last salve while SC is able to hang on to 4 tangos. This might start to get a little bit rough here. If you're SC, can you really even try and punish Feb a bit more in this mid lane?
No, not really. You just, Riptide every time you get a chance. If you catch him, great. If you don't, whatever. You're just here to farm. And that's what he's doing. He's just here to farm.
Easy peasy. Very slow game so far. There's been a couple of neutral denies, but nothing really significant as far as rotations. They moved in a extra hero. Kaka moved in towards the top lane as well to see if he can mess with September here, but didn't end up coming about, and Elder Titan holds the lane.
It's actually really good for CDEC, for their ET to get this many levels. They'll definitely play like a very large role once the laning phase ends.
Well, and it's feeling like also the fact that they're not really losing anything out of their safe lane for all this to happen. I mean, Lifestealer is still the highest CS in the game so far, and can pretty easily just trade hits with KP.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good for KP already anyways, so he's level 4.5 at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so definitely doing really good. Silencer isn't able to keep him out by himself anymore, so everything's going pretty well for them.
So what's the big play as far as trying to make something happen? Is the onus on one side or the other? I always feel like if you're playing against an Naga Siren, you want to try and shut down her farming early, but like, what's the point where they can make that happen?
Well, June has to get something out of the jungle. He needs to wait for a bit more levels. Oh, is he gonna get him?
He might. Oh, he's gonna salve. All right. Yep, that was really close. Gonna break the salve also, though. Oh man, that really hurts. God, this SC Naga is just punishing the Invoker.
Yeah, every time you catch him in Riptide, there's nothing he can do about it. And he's just bottle crowing, like non-stop bottle crowing. It's so hard to deal with this.
Man. Well, a great start already, the Naga Siren. 29-8 versus the 21-2. I mean, it's not a huge, like, stomping win, but I feel like if you get away from this lane with the Naga Siren farming pretty much freely, it's feeling pretty good for Newbee. Oh, Stomp comes through, they connect. The meatball drop down very early on, and that's going to be enough damage. They find the kill. Man, that early point in Wex really working out for him.
Alright, I lied. There is something you can do. It's if you manage to stomp him when he's farming like that.
That's pretty great. You'll love to see that. Invoker now has the Gloves of Haste on line, so he'll start to build into that Midas rather quickly.
This Life Stealer is getting really strong too. He can probably start getting things done with this Slargar once he hits 6.
Oh, the wraparound Feb. There's the X Torrent combo as well. Going to lift him up, bring him down. Easy kill in the mid lane. So they do find one in return. SC makes his way a bit further towards that Radiance.
This is really important for the Newbee supports because they aren't getting nearly as much as the supports on CDEC, since the ET is soloing the offlane and Slardar's just jungling.
Well, and they do have September, October. They're both all the months in the middle lane, and they want to try and do something, but I don't know if they're going to be able to find a kill, really. And SC has said, screw it, I'm heading off to the jungle. Don't want to be here anymore.
This is one of the nice things about having a Naga mid as well, is that you're able to just make this rotation and allow your supports to catch up in levels that they need in the mid lane.
Well, Newbee, Faith, he's just sitting there in the mid as well, just trying to get whatever he can while the Naga Siren and Illusions keep on farming, and the rotation has moved up towards top. U9 might get gone upon. They do have the X combo as well to turn around on the Slargar, but I don't know if they're going to be able to find that kill. Sleep connects onto U9, still draining damage, but he is super dead. And just like that, CDEC rotations, they're working it. They're making this happen.
Yeah, that was a really good rotation too, because now that you lost your Razor, there's very little you can do to stop this push. Like, they're going to get a lot of damage done on this tower, if not the tower itself.
Yeah. I mean, Kunkka only level 4 at this point, and the 2 points in X, it's gonna be hard for him to do it, man. The wraparound is there. Kaka, you're in trouble, man. This is gonna be a quick crush, stomp, and dead. I don't know. I guess since he didn't really have... Could he have TP'd out there?
I think he could have. It's a little surprising that he would assume that they would not try to go for a play like that. Maybe he's... I feel like this is one of those situations where you would definitely notice if you weren't captaining the team. I think he's probably just like talking to his team. He's like, oh wait, they're all up here, aren't they? I'm dead.
Yeah. That hurts. Well, Quilla's finished on Razor, so they're going to be able to take a tower of their own in turn. Kaka places down this ward. I really like this positioning right here, because there is a chance that we just see CDEC move for a tier 2 tower now, so they kind of cover their bases a little bit, and if that does happen, they'll be able to fight in this area.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Vision game so far has been working for him.
Yeah, not much is gonna happen still, I feel. You know, just these are just like kills that are happening based off of like responding. Until I feel like things will mostly start to happen once Kunkka gets his levels, but he's only level 4, so they're probably gonna have to wait for that, because unless he gets his boat, it's very hard for them to do enough damage out of the Chrono.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, and that is one way to sort of deal with the Life Stealer as well. Once he starts to get fairly farmed up, you find him, you drop that down, and it's probably going to be able to throw a good amount of damage in towards the Chronosphere. But they should have spotted this rotation in towards mid from November, and they are not going to be able to find a kill onto the Naga Siren. So I think that ward working out, and Newbee, like you said, just continuing to farm, be content with what they got.
I mean, it is a Naga game after all. It's not a support Naga, it's a mid Naga, so...
Kaka might be dead. Yeah, he's just going to TP out of there, and I feel like November has to think about the fact that there might be some wards over there, but they're not pinging it out, so this is still going to go unseen.
Dire's top
I think
tower
CDEC
is under
understand
attack.
that Newbee have no intentions of fighting,
Radiant's
really.
middle tower is under attack.
So everyone's just pushing up lanes. They know no one's really going to respond to anything.
Well, they pick up the
Radiant's
tome for the
middle tower
Kunkka,
is
eat
under
it. He
attack.
is now level 5. SC is going to try and finish these guys off as well. As far as the normal thing that we talk about, Naga Siren taking up a lot of farm throughout the whole course of the game, is that something that you have to be worried about as the other cores of Newbee, like thinking about maybe going for a Midas or something so you can
Razor?
in your farms? Are they actually going to find that? He's dropping low, but there's the Oracle heal that comes out, and now Torrent, they back out.
He's pretty tanky. He's got 1300 life. They would have killed him if he didn't miss the Sunstrike, but unfortunately, he does miss that. I think he should have waited for the Stomp.
But do you think that is one of the plays that they could go for to try and ensure that they've got farm later, potentially like a Midas on one of these heroes for Newbee?
I don't think you really need to. I think when you play a Naga game, you just leave it to Naga.
Don't worry
I think once he gets his Radiance, they'll probably start fighting. I don't think it's like one of those games where you like literally wait until 15 minutes and your Naga is 600. I don't think it's going to be one of those games. You just wait for the Radiance and then you can start making things happen because the damage output should be sufficient.
Okay. Well, SC is level 9 now. The rotation's going to move in towards the ancient camp, or the ancients of the Dire side, but
Oh, mid lane. Might go for this.
they might be able to find something there. Doesn't look like they want to go for it. Like, Global is off cooldown, and actually their smoke's going to get broken on Faith. He should die here, I think. Does he get his own ultimate off? No, he's super gone. They take him out.
Your intelligence flows to me.
I think that's fine. They smoke. They use 2 wards to try to spot out if they could potentially catch anyone out. I think Newbee will most definitely check for wards eventually.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well,
Dire's structures are
we're
fortified.
still at a very passive point in this game as Newbee are not really opting to try and come in and contest this. They do have the boat as well as Torn if they want to throw it out.
They want to
there.
fight this because Kunkka is 6 now, so they want to chrono someone.
In Fort KP
Oh, this
trying
is
to
it.
find it, is going to be able to catch on to 3. Oh, but the Global comes out a little bit late. It's still pretty okay, though, for them. And now the boat is also going to get flown, and they end up catching on to September. Feb also maybe in a
Kunkka
little bit of
missed his
trouble.
boat.
The Earth Splitter turned back around. That ice wall was huge, and that's probably going to keep him alive.
That was really unfortunate for Newbee. Despite the global, he still had the time to X combo the Invoker, but unfortunately he just timed it wrong and couldn't catch the Invoker with a boat. Otherwise, he should have been dead.
Well, that was, I mean, if you find the silencer in the midst of that, as U9 is going to take a little bit of chip damage along the way, I feel like that would have just been a huge wipe for Newbee killing off CDEC, but that silencer, just right in the day.
Yeah, unfortunately for Newbee, they didn't get anyone with all of their cooldowns used, so I think they're just going to have to give up this tower. But they seem like they want to fight. They're going to use Naga's sleep to set up the team fight.
I mean, they don't have globals, so that's something to be
They're
considered.
setting
at
up.
least.
Dire's
All right,
middle
maybe that was
tower
just to try and
has
get the
fallen.
deny on the tower, but they don't quite get
Yeah,
that
I think you're
one.
right. I thought they were trying to fight because the boat came back up.
Oh,
Oh, Slardar has
Blink,
Blink.
that's a super dead Faith. He's gone, and just like that, CDEC are taking a pretty nice little series of engagements for themselves. It feels like they're playing this game quite well.
Look at that Sentry Ward just missing out the Observer Ward. Faith is like, man, there's definitely a ward here.
Oh yeah, that hurts. I do like that positioning though, because this is oftentimes right in this area where you would see an observer ward placed from the low ground, but they don't end up finding it. They do spot the X going down this direction. This signals that there might be a Kunkka over here, but they're not going to go for it. He's gone.
So yeah, after all of that, both sides just gonna relax, keep farming. SC is pretty close to his Radiance. Newbee are definitely gonna wait for that now, considering how close he is and considering that sleep is on cooldown for another 2 minutes. So that should be more than enough time for him to finish up his Radiance.
You do love to see that Faith able to get the D ward. There's so many sentry wards in this area. They've been doing a good job of staying up on the vision that CDEC have been having. So good stuff all around. Newbee will spot
Bottom
this
lane,
movement.
they might get this.
Jump forward. They realize the rest of the team is far away in September. Now going to get caught out by the torrent. Right clicks are going to be available as well, and that's going to be a pretty nice kill. They should realize what's happening, though. Kaka gets caught out, and he is going to be in trouble. KP does have his TP just a little bit. Let's make sure he doesn't get found out either. So
Radiant structures are
TP
He's
is out,
fine.
I think.
That was totally worth it. They forced out a Slardar Lifestealer combo just for a Kunkka that already, got the gank off, making a lot of space for the rest of his team to farm.
Meantime, Naga again just gonna send those illusions out and head back home so she is not killed off. I think KP here might just stick around until the creep wave comes through and then he farms that and heads out, but a little bit of an awkward spot. Yeah, he's gonna do that. That sort of signals to CDEC. Yeah, we missed the guy. Is this too bold though? Slardar is here. Has the amp damage on him now as well. KP is in a little bit of trouble and getting chased down. The rest of the side of CDEC is here and looking for him.
He's gonna be fine.
ET? I can't get him.
He'll be fine. They can't kill him. If they go for him here, they're gonna get counter-initiated on.
Alright. There's the boat drop down. Global as well. They got the X mark onto June. They pull him back and that was really weird.
Very strange engagement from both sides. Once again, it's super unfortunate that Kaka just missed his torrent. Otherwise, I think they had a chance to kill off the Slardar, but overall, it's not too big of a deal. Their Newbee's just waiting out the chrono right now. 30 more seconds, and I think...
Again, KP bottom jumps away at the last second before the Slardar crushes. And to me, I'm looking at how long CDEC have just been chasing around this void, and this is so much space for Naga, who has the Radiance online now. This is... I feel like this early game has gone about as well as Newbee could have hoped for.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, when you have a Naga on your team, Naga is capable of farming half of the map. An entire half of the map. So the entire upper half they're just giving to him. This is why KP and Kaka, they've pretty much just been at the bottom lane for the last 7 minutes or so, giving their Naga the entire upper half of the map.
Yeah. It's been a great one for them. I mean, the fact that they haven't really... I mean, let's see. Kunkka's died 3 times, which is a little bit rough. Void hasn't died once so far, so they're making stuff happen with it. But maybe an Invis rune is what they need. Silencer is going to pick it up and, I imagine, start scouting over in the opposing jungle. October, looking to see if he can find somebody.
So I think what Newbee want to do right now is, like I said, Naga is going to be able to farm half of the map. And what you want to do is you want to make it as safe as possible. So you want to take this top tier 1 tower and then you just leave the Naga alone for 10 minutes or something. And then he'll have, I think in 10 minutes you should be able to finish Boots of Travel, Manta Style, and probably halfway through your Octarine. And then at that point, he can just come in to help at any time. The rest of his team just plays in the bottom half of the map.
June, again, they want to stop that before that ends up coming about and being too big of an issue. KP realizes that Silencer's in the area, pings it out, and they're going to head back out now. That might have been a kill if they were able to find the initiation since they have the global backup, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And you said it, 1 half of the map, it's just going to be probably the Naga Siren's territory as she has those Boots of Travel picked up.
Yeah, overall, I feel like CDEC had a really good start, but once Newbee gave up a few kills, they've been, really keeping it under control. I think this is starting to favor Newbee now.
Well, looking. They weren't able to find Kaka over there, unfortunately. And Lifestealer's just hanging out inside the Slardar for the moment, while Feb keeps on farming away as well. I mean, how is this Invoker doing so far? He's keeping up with the Naga Siren, which kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, he's doing really good in terms of farm, but
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
he's definitely going to be a huge factor later on. With this much farm, you can definitely get a lot done as an Invoker. But Newbee always have that option to just avoid fighting entirely and just keep waiting.
Well, they're actually going to be moving in towards Roshan now, CDEC, so if they get the... I mean, it's pretty bold that they're doing this right under the noses of KP and Kaka.
I really, really like this play because they've spent the last 10 minutes trying to find pickoffs with this duo, and it's very, very hard to predict this kind of movement. So this is really, really good play by CDEC.
One of the many reasons why I like that Scan does not reveal when you're in the pit. That Scan did not spot them, and just like that, finish off Roshan. Lifestealer has it, and can make stuff happen in this game. Ooh, KP's wrapped around though. They might try and take this fight.
This is definitely a fight they can take, I think. But it looks like they don't have any intentions of fighting. It seems. I mean, the three of them are just postured up top to take this tier 1, which is perfectly fine. This opens up more of the map for the Naga to farm.
Under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
KP is still there. He can go for a chrono if he wants to, but obviously you need to have the rest of your team in position to defend against it. The tier 1 tower is going to start to fall. November hitting away at it, and side of Newbee were able to take tier 1 top as well. Playing a very safe game at this point.
Oh, they're gonna fight bottom now. They realize that there's only 2 to 3 of them there. They're standing right on top of the ward. There's a time. This is it.
Can they get them? They've got the TP scrolls available for those heroes if they want to back out. KP still playing the pretty close to his chest as far as not moving out behind the trees over there. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like they have to go for the fight if they don't want to either. Like, they can just play very passively. Does this hurt KP at all, though, the fact that he's kind of just been sitting in the trees for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes?
I mean, if you watch KP, this is what he does all the time on Void, and this is a very important kind of playstyle. It's very effective. Like, the other team just never sees him, right? He's never on the map.
I wonder, does September realize this is happening? What the hell is that? How did... Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
KP cancels his TP out.
They're gonna kill him again. He's gonna get chronoed.
Oh my god, this hurts. This sucks. Jumps forward. I feel like they're gonna need to just start heading over to the trees, and now that's gonna be a kill going their direction. What is that play? He sits alone in the trees for like 5 minutes, and then happens to pop out when the ET shows and just finds the kill.
Yep. I mean, this is just really, really disciplined play. Oh, middle lane. Oh, goodbye, Faith.
Looking for Faith. Yeah, they're going to be able to get that one. Sunstrike not even needed, but they do use it so that way the Invoker can get a part of that kill.
I feel a lot of people underestimate this kind of playstyle. It's so effective because as long as you never show yourself in the map, people always have to be scared that you're going to be jumped by a Void. And I think CDEC now realize, I mean, this ET has died in the same spot twice to the exact same kind of ganking method. So they're going to be really, really cautious of this bottom lane, and just to have that kind of mindset makes it like so much harder to farm this bottom lane.
No. Well, it was pretty cool to see that down there in the bottom. Definitely disciplined play, like you said, but it also has left the game open a little bit as far as Lifestealer being able to now build into his next item. I'm assuming this is an MKB. Is there anything else that they might be going for on this guy?
This is hard to say. I would think it's an MKB too, but I would say it's like 90% MKB and 10% Daedalus. Okay, he got the jab done, so it is an MKB. Really good for dealing with the Naga, but I feel like it's a little greedy for the time being. It's a very, very offensive build.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, Kaka is going to head down towards this bottom lane, has his drums completed, and imagining that he can start he's going to start to play the KP build as well, which is just hang out in the trees until somebody pops by and then you kill him. Eventually, I mean, how do you play against that if you're CDEC? Do you try and stick down those Tinker wards, or do you just check the trees every time you're like anywhere?
It's such a investment. Like, it's not exactly the same as a Tinker kind of ward, because when you invest in a Tinker ward, you're killing a Tinker, right? That's super worth. But this is just a Kunkka. Void might be worth it, but ooh, are they gonna find him? No. But like I said, Newbee already showed this play twice. They're probably not really going to do it again. Like KP is just walking around farming, and like I said, because it's happened twice already, they're just super cautious at this bottom lane. Like it's so hard for people to farm past their tower. Like where Feb is farming right now, this is probably as far as they ever go. This is just where they
and
stop.
he might get punished for it too. They're bringing in a lot of heroes. KP is on the hunt. He does find him. Oh, Chronosphere dropped the boat as well.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. Like now they died to it 3 times. Now they have to be even more cautious of this bottom lane. Like they just cannot go into this bottom lane. And if they don't go into this bottom lane, they have to go into the top lane. But they can't even go into the top lane because this Naga is just pushing it out non-stop. So when that happens, CDEC is just slowly going to get out-farmed at this rate.
And this Void, I mean, it's a way of playing Void that I don't think I've seen before from most other teams. I don't know, have you seen this type of play before out of a Void in the most recent patch?
I mean, most of the time when people play Void, it's like, usually it's like, a huge wombo combo, but like the way they're playing this Void right now is very similar to how some people would play Sand King or Lion, those kind of heroes, where you just sit in the trees, you plant a ward, or you wait for the creep wave, and you just wait. You just keep waiting, and you can sit in the trees for like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, finally, my opportunity has come, and you jump out, you kill them, and you leave. That's what you spend your 2 to 3 minutes on, and there's a lot of players who do this. It's very, very effective.
Yeah. I guess it works really well in the context of the Naga strat, too, because you don't really need to be farming during that period of time because Naga is going to be able to farm your entire jungle. So all you really have to do, I mean, look at them. They're doing it again, and I feel like CDEC, it really is just putting a huge hamper on what they're capable of doing. They're still in the lead as far as net worth and experience. Is that something that you need to be concerned about for Newbee?
Once again, I don't think it's like a really too big of a deal.
God, they're gonna do it again. Yeah, they're just going to do it again. There's the X-Boat combo drop down. KP is there. Doesn't even actually drop the Chronosphere this time around and is going to be able to find the kill. And just like that, now they have it for the follow-up if they want to try and take this fight again. This must be so tilting.
Like, Newbee are just... They're like, you know what? Let's just keep doing this. CDEC is not learning their lesson. We're just going to do it over and over again until you guys learn your lesson. And... like this just keeps going back to what I'm saying. Like they're just trying to they're just trying to send a message. They're like saying, CDC, do not come bottom lane. Just stop coming here. You're wasting your time.
And of course, then it's like the sort of double back, and possibly they go up towards the top lane next, which could also be a problem. It reminds me of like you ever played rock paper scissors against somebody a lot of times in a row. And then they just like they keep throwing rock, and you're like, this time they're gonna go paper, and then you just keep throwing out the scissors, and you lose. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person that always lost at rock paper scissors, but that's what it reminds me of. And Kunkka's back again. My goodness.
Well, Newbee keeps playing rock, and CDEC keeps playing scissors.
We do have 4 Midases on CDEC, which is another thing to be concerned about, possibly.
I mean, this is their answer to the Naga.
And they've got a Shadow Blade here.
We saw this the other day. Oh man, they scouted them.
Rather upset. Jump back the other direction. KP gonna TP away. Oh, he gets lifted up in the tornado now and drops the Chronosphere. Time to run out of there. Run away, buddy. He's gonna get caught in the moment, though. There's the ET in the area. Does have another jump, but he's gonna be slept in now. In a lot of trouble. Finally punished. KP goes down, but it took 5. Is that worth for you? The space created, the time spent not killing the Naga Siren?
I would say it's kind of worth it. They do kind of have to take some time to slowly regain positioning. Oh man, are they gonna kill him here? They might sleep him.
Oh, they got him. Nice decision right there, and they're going to be able to find this. It's still going to be able to ghost walk away for the moment, and Tornado thrown out as well, but yeah, they've got it. This should be a kill. Nicely played. Gem available on the Naga Siren, and they're able to take down that juicy Invoker. Orc getting the kill.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's definitely like worth it for CDEC to go for a kill like that. You kind of have to just slowly recontrol your bottom lane.
I think
kind of have to let
October's dead.
Oh, he just got ran over by Naga solutions.
Oh no, and now they do have the jump in. Kaka's gonna get found and killed. They don't have a sleep for this one, and KP jumps in, is gonna be able to throw out that time dilation. It should be a turnaround kill. But the Elder Titan Stomp was not quite in time to save their Razor. Rather, their Slardar.
Man, these poor supports. It's reached that stage where the Naga is just like putting illusions on you, and you're like, guys, please help me. I'm dying, and no one comes and saves you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, we're 30 minutes in, and it's already at that point, like you said, 20,000 net worth on the Naga. It's still this situation where you've got a lot of gold on the other 4 heroes for CDEC. All of those Midases online. Nobody is really looking to fight in this one. Oh god, but KP's he's got a Chronosphere again and might think about just dropping it.
Unfortunately, they can't do it on the Lifestealer. I don't think they have enough damage, and I think they realize that.
No. He's still scouting it out. I mean, I'm assuming that Void next is going to be going back for the Manta style. At that point, does he have the ability to solo some of these heroes himself?
Just a couple. You can probably kill Silencer.
Looking. Not going to go for it.
I like this item pickup by June, though. He goes for the Shadow Blade, which is like pretty much the answer to Newbee's split push lineup. So he's gonna do his best to find out all these heroes that are farming alone. Unfortunately, or for him, Newbee is completely together. This might backfire on him severely.
Oh, but a big crush could come out. Is he gonna actually get caught by it? Oh, they go into SC. He's gonna get healed back up immediately. They drop the Chronosphere, connects onto 2, but the Global comes out as well. SC isn't getting a ton of heals in this. He might be in trouble. Does he actually go down? He does pop, but they kill off the Invoker as well, and now Gem on the ground. Fed picks it back up. Is gonna get ran down slightly by this Razor. He drops. Now the Gem on the ground again, and they've been able to kill off the Silencer too. Oh lordy.
Oh my goodness, that Razor had double damage and a 224 damage static link. He hits so hard.
And now it's going to be a 10 September. They're just dismantling the side of CDEC, and even though they killed off the Naga right there, they managed to take that fight handedly.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like that was probably one of the best situations they could have asked for, is to kill off that Naga immediately. And I mean, that's just the power of Oracle, I guess. Like, he was able to get his ulti off. He has Guardian Greaves. He gets his ulti off, buys just enough time for the rest of his team to kill everyone else, while Naga is just slowly dying through the ultimate.
Well, Roshan has now been picked up, and it's starting to feel like this Newbee lineup is hitting its stride where it starts to become very difficult to deal with. And I mean, Kaka, he's got a 4-step now as well. What do you do right here if you're CDEC? Is there anything you can really change about your playstyle?
I mean, I feel like they definitely have the right idea. Like, they have to go for these kind of pickoffs. Like, June even itemized for it. He bought Shadow Blade, because this is one of the only ways he's going to catch anyone with his, or, you know, just being able to close the gap and find people. Like, but he doesn't even have Lifestealer in him. He's just trying to get wards up now, so that he could potentially find pickoffs.
Oh, well, remember, got himself an armlet, MKB, killing off these illusions in pretty good time. Considering that we did see the MKB picked up for the Lifestealer, does this change the way that Naga Siren wants to itemize?
I don't think so. You just pretty much build the standard Naga items. He's getting Diffusal Blade, and then he should be getting, like, Scotty or something.
Oh, they caught him. Oh, that hurts. June, he's going to go down. He got out all of his wards, so there's a good amount of them, but I don't know.
They're going to find all of them. Almost certain. No, I'm just kidding. There's no high ground vision. You place them both on the high ground.
That's a pretty good play right there as well. Because you don't expect the Slardar to be carrying a bunch of wards. TP's out. But yeah, back towards mid lane. Newbee now on the hunt. That Aegis available and ready on the Slardar. They're ready to party.
Overall, this has been like a super disciplined game from both sides. Like, both of them understand their win conditions, and unfortunately for CDEC, their win condition is they just really, really need to farm the items they need to deal with Naga, because their early game start just wasn't sufficient enough. And because of that, it's just that's why we only have well, it was much worse earlier on, but 24 kills in 35 minutes only, compared to some of the other games that we've seen. Not as much.
Is there a backside to this, though, where with all of the Midases picked up, they get the items they need to take it in the super late game? Like, they have a pretty good high ground defense for CDEC, I feel like.
Their high ground is pretty good just because they have the Invoker. But Newbee understand this, so they're just, they're just gonna keep farming. And like at the end of the day, even if CDEC like does find the farm they need to deal with this Naga, like you're still looking at a Kunkka, Razor, and the Void. This Void's like pretty farmed now, or he's catching up now at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, head of the Slargar at the very least. And well, it looks like their sights are set on the final tier 2 tower that's left. Aegis gonna expire in 2 minutes. They might even take a run at high ground here if they happen to strike their fancy. U9, BKB, 9-second charge, ready to let go with it. Man, and these illusions.
SC opts for the heart. I thought he was gonna go for Scotty, but I like the heart too. It makes it so that you can continuously fight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna be able to knock on the door now. U9, they don't really have a great way to stop this. They have to contend with the Naga Siren illusions, and also with U9 continuously just being able to right-click the tower. This is a very tough hold right here, but Aegis going to expire in a couple of minutes. Do you try and initiate before then, or do you just have to wait it out?
I think you do try to initiate before then, and you already see the Slardar wrapping around. He's trying to find his pick. Oh, he finds him not.
Jump in. There's Sunstrike as well. Chronosphere hasn't been used as of yet. Time Dilation only gets dropped down, but they do have the ability to deal with the Global Silence if they want to, as KP is now able to diffuse the blade off for a second, but still silenced for the moment. Only one charge left. He does not want to have to use that one as of yet, but the tier 3 tower is down, and now they don't have global.
Looking really grim for CDEC. Like, even with an ET and an Invoker, your high ground defense is very lacking once you waste your global and get nothing out of it. So without global, it's very, very difficult for the fight. Oh, the Chrono misses everyone.
He only caught September on the edge. That should still be a kill on the ET, I believe. He does go down. Kaka, in the meantime, gets jumped upon, and November and June are there trying to bring down KP, not going to be able to find him. ET buys back. Naga Siren killed him off at the same time, and now the sleep. They aren't going to be able to run these heroes down. Everybody's TPing away. It can maybe... No, they can't catch anybody. They're gone.
Oh, man. If that stomp went off, though, that would have been pretty damn good for them.
Well, 38 minutes in, and they do force the side of Newbee back, but nonetheless, they did some structural damage with that Aegis. How do you respond now if you're CDEC? Is it trying to sort of build back some type of map control, going for some smoke play or something?
Yeah, you just have to play aggressively right now. I mean, this is another issue that CDEC has, is that they itemize so hard for just catching out these solo farmers. He bought Lothars. He doesn't exactly have the kind of items you would normally want for team fights.
This play is so good too, because they realize that the wards placed down earlier by June ends up making all the difference in the world. They do jump forward.
Got sleep off.
The crush went off even. It was mid-animation, and C is just going to be able to walk away from this one. They do end up lifting him back up. What was that TP away? And now SC is going to be caught, but KP might be able to turn this one back around for his team. The rest of the squad has been able to show up for this, and now it looks like they might try and just take this fight for themselves. Not going to be able to find the Invoker. That was a bit of a suspicious pause as well, as he gives him the period. Yeah, Feb is... I think he's dead nonetheless, because Razor is here as well.
Oh, September getting some kale.
He might go down. Yeah, they pull back in. November's gonzo, and it looks like Invoker doesn't have very far to go either. Well, I don't know. Maybe they don't have the ability to chase him down. Yeah, he's gone.
That was his BKB, though, unfortunately. 7 seconds now. Not the worst.
So they only lose the life sealer at the end of the day.
Well, that is your one position farmer, so Pretty bad, I must say.
Radiant's
SC
middle
is
tower
gonna have to
is
pop
under
the song
attack.
again. It's so crazy how low of cooldown that spell is. Not gonna be able to TP out though. Still 10 seconds left. Thought about going there on the Invoker, wasn't able to find him. Now KP jumps
Oh, what a
forward. That's a
chrono.
good ass chrono. But he do also have the Invoker outside of it, so gets the disarm onto a couple of them. June's there as well. That's gonna be a kill in September. SC still taking a lot of damage, able to time walk forward outside of that ice wall. The tornado counter initiation play is gonna connect, and KP forced to jump away from them the whole time through though. They're losing their barracks. U9 as well as Kaka are making it happen, and GG gets called. They took up enough time that they were able to get the structural damage. Newbee win it.
I think CDEC just understood. They were slowly losing the game, and I mean, Newbee drafted the Naga lineup. They executed it very, very well. I would say that was a very, very convincing win from Newbee.
And for me, I felt like those